Are you thinking about moving to Atlanta, Georgia? With so many amazing neighborhoods, you're probably wondering which city is going to be the best for you and your lifestyle. So today we're going to go over the top 7 suburbs. We're going to break them down by the cost of living, the crime and safety, what makes them so special, and where they're located. Hi, I'm Allison.
And I'm Jennifer, and we are moms living in the North Atlanta area, and we make videos on what it's like to live here. So if you're thinking about a move to the northern suburbs, just reach out. Let's jump right in with number 1, and that's going to be East Cobb. So East Cobb is located about 20 miles north of downtown Atlanta. It is part of Marietta, so if you live in East Cobb, you're going to have a Marietta address for the most part. However, East Cobb is unincorporated. So when you're thinking of East Cobb, just for reference and kind of getting your bearings, you've got Cherokee County bordering on your kind of north end. You've got Roswell on the east, and you're bordered by Sandy Springs on the south. On the west, you've got downtown Marietta and the city of Marietta. So that kind of gives you an idea of where East Cobb is. So when we're looking at pricing in East Cobb, we've got the median home price for a single family home sitting at about $650,000. That is up 10% year over year. If you are looking at attached homes, which are going to be your townhomes and condos, the average or the median sales price is going to be $435,000, and that's up 7%. So East Cobb is really a great place to live if you're wanting to grow your equity. For the most part, are single family homes with very few selection of the townhomes and condominiums. So when we think about East Cobb, what really makes it special? And I think one of the most unique characteristics about East Cobb is the family atmosphere. And the reason for that is because of the schools. East Cobb is going to have schools that are consistently ranked nationally in the top tier of schools according to greatschools.org. So the big 3 high schools that stand out are going to be Walton, which is closer into the Sandy Springs downtown area. You're going to have Hope, which is a little bit further north into East Cobb. And you're going to have Lassiter, which is a little bit further north from that. So those 3 schools are the main high schools in the area, and that is the real big draw to East Cobb. And then on top of that, it being family friendly, you've got parks and recreation. The proximity to the Chattahoochee River just affords a lifestyle of being outdoors and community feel and a lot of things to do for families.
So let's talk about safety in East Cobb. Now, East Cobb crime rates are pretty hard to assess because, as Jen mentioned, East Cobb is Marietta, and Marietta is pretty large. So we have the west side of Marietta, which does tend, I think, to have a little bit higher crime rates. Because crime rates can be inaccurate, we always recommend that you contact the local police department to, get a better sense. Also, very important to talk to the residents that live here. I personally live in East Cobb. I have never felt unsafe really anywhere that I've gone with my children or even on my own. So generally speaking, residents who live here find the area pretty safe. It definitely has the reputation of being a safe place for families. And really this stems, I think, from the parents' diligence in the community. As Jen mentioned, it's very, very family focused, and this is what families are looking for. And we all kind of work together to create that sense of community and look out for each other. So to get a better feel for the community, let's talk about what types of people are moving to East Cobb. So in East Cobb, you're going to find a lot of young families. You're also going to find senior citizens. Now, of these families that are moving to the area, we're finding a lot of professionals, and part of that is the fact that it's an easy commute into the city, especially when you're in that Walton school district, which is going to, save you 10 to 15 minutes on your commute, depending on what part of East Cobb you're in, and of course, what part of Atlanta you're working in. So for senior citizens, East Cobb offers a really great senior tax incentive. So you can save up to 40% on your taxes as a senior citizen when you reach the age 62 or older. So definitely a great way to keep that cost of living down for seniors. So what are some fun things to do in East Cobb? There's endless parks, there's beautiful trails, we have the Chattahoochee. East Cobb is very sports centric. So you're gonna find that a lot of kids are involved in baseball and soccer and lacrosse. There's festivals. We have something called the East Cobber Parade, which is just really sweet. A lot of local businesses and organizations come together and they pass out candy to the kids, and it's just a great way to bring the community together, followed by a really fun festival.
So let's go into number 2, and that's going to be Roswell. Roswell is still about 20 miles from downtown Atlanta. One thing to mention about Roswell is that Roswell is split by Georgia 400. So Roswell is split by West Roswell and East Roswell. And then you've got Johns Creek on the east side, and then you've got the Chattahoochee River running along the south. So it's all clustered in. All of these great suburbs are all clustered in together. But it is important to note the west side of Roswell and the east side of Roswell. Okay, so when you're looking at median home prices in Roswell, we are looking right at about $690. So that number, $690, is for single family home. If you're looking at condos and townhomes, you're more at like $465 range, which has more growth than we've seen in single family.
There are schools in Roswell that are more highly rated than others. That's where your real estate agent's really gonna come in and give you a good sense of the best places to live, the best investment.
Okay, so Roswell is a little bit unique too, and we're going to talk a little bit about the west side of Roswell, because that's where the historic district is of Roswell, and that gives Roswell its charm and kind of southern feel. You've got the mill there, which has hiking trails, waterfalls, and again, backdrops for photo opportunities. And then right along in that same space, you've got Canton Street, which is tree-lined streets. It's beautiful. They're old homes with shops, restaurants that are second to none. I mean, they really compete with those higher end restaurants in downtown Atlanta. You've got boutiques there, you've got a brewery there. So really there's something for everyone in that east side of Roswell.
So let's talk about crime rates in Roswell. So of course, nationally speaking, Roswell is gonna have a little bit slightly higher when we're talking about property crimes, and then a little bit lower when we're talking about violent crimes. You're probably gonna have less of that suburban sense of security feeling. However, it's still a very safe place, and I think most people will attest to that. What types of people are moving to Roswell? You're gonna find young families moving into those subdivisions and the more highly rated public schools. A lot of families really just want that Roswell lifestyle. So you're also going to find young professionals moving there because there is such a great nightlife, and senior citizens because there's a lot of trails, there's a lot of community activities for them. So what are the fun things to do in Roswell? There's also coming soon a food hall called Roswell Junction. It hasn't opened as of the time of this recording, but they're going to have indoor-outdoor bars, 8 different restaurants. They're going to have entertainment, screens to watch the game. And of course, there's a lot of great art festivals that come in through Roswell. Also in the fall, there's a great Youth Day parade. And one more thing that I really want to try, to be honest, I haven't done it yet, but I've heard a lot of great things, is about the Roswell ghost tours. Have you tried that?
I have, and it's really fun. Just go with it, no matter what if you believe in ghosts or not. It's a great night out for girls' night out or date night, or you can even bring the kids. So it's really fun.
All right, number 3 on our list is Johns Creek. So Johns Creek is located about 26 miles to northeast of downtown Atlanta. The prices in Johns Creek are some of the highest that we're going to talk about today. The median household sales price in Johns Creek is $840,000, up 10%. Even with interest rates right now at the time of this recording being slightly higher, we're still getting pretty sizable gains in all these suburbs. When we're talking about townhomes and condos, the median sales price is $573,000, and those are up over 30% year over year. So we are seeing more new construction coming into Johns Creek. They definitely have more options for townhomes and condos. What makes Johns Creek so special? Travel and Leisure recently rated Johns Creek #1 in the United States. And niche.com just rated Johns Creek as the #1 suburb to raise a family. So definitely quite popular and a lot to offer for young professionals and families alike. The other unique thing about Johns Creek is that it has a 25% international population. So if you're looking for diversity, Johns Creek is a great option. So Johns Creek really started developing in the early 80s. Some Georgia Tech guys came in and bought some land and developed the technology park that's still there today. And this is really sort of what catapulted the technology boom in the North Atlanta suburbs. And of course, Johns Creek has award-winning schools, excellent ratings, right up there with East Cobb. So they're really trying to appeal to that modern day buyer that wants accessibility, walkability, and lots lot of things to do, great entertainment options so you don't have to go into the city. And of course, there's great recreational activities, again, Chattahoochee trails.
And don't forget about the golf courses. Johns Creek has a ton of highly rated golf courses that people love. And some of them are in country clubs and some of them are open to the public. So if golfing's your thing, Johns Creek is going to be a great option for you. So let's talk a little bit about safety in Johns Creek. Johns Creek's safety ratings are well below the national average for both property crimes and violent crimes. And the residents will tell you that they feel safe there. And the residents also sing the police department's praise, that they act fast, that there's a presence, and that they feel like that keeps some of the crime down. And that's according to bestplaces.com. So I think based on what we just talked about within what kind of family atmosphere it is, I think the majority of people that you're going to find moving is going to be family, because you've got those highly rated schools and just the lifestyle it affords for kids and their parents. I think you're going to find a lot of tech types there, obviously with the whole tech boom that started and how they have embraced that, and tech jobs just coming to that area. So that's going to be really the biggest portion of what you're going to find in Johns Creek in terms of the type of people living there. And we kind of already touched on, but you can't miss all of the parks and recreation in Johns Creek. Newton Park, for one, is awesome. And if you're a dog lover, they've got a great dog park there with dogs off the leashes and things like that. So there's just that community feel when you are going through Johns Creek.
Number 4 on the list is Alpharetta. We've made a lot of videos about Alpharetta. It's definitely one of the most popular suburbs in Metro Atlanta. Alpharetta is located about 26 miles to northeast of downtown Atlanta. So what are the home prices in Alpharetta? So year over year, prices are up about 10%. The median household sales price in Alpharetta is going to be right around that $800,000, so a little bit lower than Johns Creek, but still pretty expensive. The median sales price for townhomes and condos is going to run around $460,000. And in Alpharetta, I would say you probably have the biggest selection with townhomes and condos. Alpharetta developed very quickly. In the 10 years that I've been here, it's pretty amazing. Southern Living Magazine voted Alpharetta as one of the best cities to live in and on the rise for 2024. Of course, Alpharetta has some of the best schools in the northern suburbs.
Okay, so on to Alpharetta's safe. The crime rates in Alpharetta for both violent crimes and property crimes are well below the national average. And if you talk to the residents, they are saying, and the consensus is, the people that we talk to, is a really safe place to live. So when you are talking about the types of people that live in Alpharetta, you're going to find a lot of families in Alpharetta. I think you will also find some younger tech people moving to Alpharetta because it is kind of this modern vibe and a great place to live with these jobs that are coming into Alpharetta. Then when you're talking about some of these great things to do in Alpharetta, you've got to check out Amerisbank Amphitheater. Great place to see a concert. It's open air. You can bring your own things in, sit on the lawn, have chairs. You've got to check out Avalon, like Allison mentioned, all of the great restaurants. It's a little bougie and it's really fun to walk through there. And be sure to check out Wills Park because, like we talked about, Alpharetta was once all horse farms, and Wills Park kept a little bit of the charm of that, and you can go see events there, horse shows, there's boarding, and it's a really pretty area. Festival, so if you are in Alpharetta in the fall, you'll see scarecrows placed all over downtown. So that kind of brings us naturally into number 5, which is going to be Milton. Milton's going to be in the very northern tip of Fulton County, so you're looking at more like 30 miles from Milton to downtown Atlanta that we are talking about in the 7 suburbs that we're talking about today. So for single family homes, you're looking at about $1.325 million as the median home price value, and that is up 5%. So I'm not seeing slowing down in the Milton area. So if you're looking at townhomes, you're looking in the 800s, and that's up 50%. So that is huge. And that is really due to a lot of these high-end townhomes that are around downtown area. So the walkability, the mixed use kind of lifestyle, and they are really gorgeous. They're high-end and they are not small. So when people think of Milton, they really think of kind of like this nature lovers area. There's a nature preserve there in the heart of Milton. It's kept some of this equestrian charm. So the homes are on bigger lots. Milton has got a really different feel. Again, we talked about Milton being a little bit smaller, but it is also a little bit newer. It was incorporated in 2006. It has come a long way in terms of growth and how they have developed this area in a pretty short time.
How safe is Milton? Very safe. Okay, property crimes, violent crimes, almost non-existent. Who's moving to Milton? Usually executive types, very high income, who really value that that privacy. You know, you want that bigger lot. You may not want to see your neighbors, but you also want that sense of community. What are some fun things to do in Milton? So there is a lot of festivals and various things to do sort of in that crabapple area that we talked about. So crabapple can be walkable to some of the townhomes and some of the new construction that we're seeing. Boutique shopping. There's Scottsdale Farms, which is a beautifully stocked nursery. There's also the Painted Horse Winery, which is a really fun place to check out. It's a horse farm plus a winery. They have entertainment and crafts, lots of fun stuff to do. There's also the Big Creek Path, which is a really great concrete path that goes along the Big Creek stream. Really, really beautiful, and it connects to the Chattahoochee.
All right, so that brings us to number 6, which is Woodstock. Woodstock is a suburb a little bit more to the east. It's about 30 miles north of downtown Atlanta, and you've got Roswell bordering Woodstock on the east. You've got Canton. East Cobb's going to go into Woodstock just a little bit. So Woodstock is going to be one of the most affordable areas in these kind of northern suburbs that we're talking about today. The median sales price of a single family home is at $472,000. So if you look at everything else we've talked about today, it is really affordable. That median sales price is up 8% year over year. So definitely still seeing the growth in Woodstock. So townhomes and condos come in at about $405,000 median sales price, and they're pretty much flat for the year. So one of the things that makes Woodstock special is its downtown area, and they've really worked to revitalize that area. There are 30 shops and restaurants that are locally owned, so it's really a treat to go into the downtown area and kind of experience that feel of really homegrown businesses. One of the main draws to Woodstock too is its outdoor recreation. Woodstock has so many trails, so many opportunities and places to go hiking. You've got nearby water, feels a little bit more kind of rural, I guess, in Woodstock because of all of the nature there, but don't let that fool you. And one of the other great things about Woodstock is its proximity to Lake Altoona, which is a huge lake for boating, fishing, skiing, and things like that. So you almost can live in Woodstock, but still have the benefits of feeling like you're living in lake life because it's not that far. So you really get that lake life at an affordable price.
So let's talk about how safe people feel. What's the crime like in Woodstock? Again, guys, very little crime. Residents feel safe. Great place. So what types of people are moving to Woodstock? So we're seeing a lot of young families, young professionals, because there is a great affordable price point. Senior citizens are going to get that tax credit from Cherokee County. So it's really a great place to set down some roots or get into that first home. So there's a lot to do in Woodstock. You know, we've already talked about all the parks and the trails, which is really, I think, the biggest part of the lifestyle in Woodstock, but there's also a great downtown, green space, amphitheater. You're getting a sense here in the North Atlanta suburbs that this is really sort of the blueprint for that modern suburb lifestyle. There is a concert series, there's Reformation Brewery. So really a great place for people of all ages to hang out. Number 7 on our list is Swanee. Now Swanee, you might not have heard as much about as some of the other suburbs, but it's important to consider because it is part of Forsyth County, Gwinnett County, and Fulton County. We're really seeing a lot of growth and people moving into Forsyth County. Swanee is located about 36 miles northeast of Atlanta, so it's a little bit further out there, but very close to Johns Creek. Swanee's also one of the more affordable suburbs that we're talking about. The median home sales price is about $650,000, and you can get into a condo or townhome for about $450,000. So we've seen prices stay pretty flat, but I will say, you know, one of the homes that I sold this year in Swanee had about 11 offers on it. So what makes Swanee so special? So it started off as this agricultural town, and really it's become very family friendly, but a progressive community. In 2016, Swanee was the first city to develop a bike share program, and it's working on a project to connect 3 of the larger parks to, again, build this trail system. The city really works hard to maintain that sense of charm, you know, that nice southern neighborly feel, and has also won numerous awards for being one of the most family-friendly suburbs in the North Atlanta area.
So when you're looking at safety, it's not going to be surprising that Swanee is a safe place to live. 70% of of its residents will tell you that they feel safe living in Swanee. So again, it's along the lines of this theme that these North Atlanta suburbs are safe places to live and to raise your family. So who's moving to Swanee? And I think it's going to be families. Swanee's schools, they are highly rated schools. You can't go wrong with the schools. And I think the people that may be being priced out of, let's say, Johns Creek and Alpharetta, kind of are gravitating to Swanee because there is the same type of lifestyle, the same types of developments being made, the same types of schools, just a little bit further out. They're willing to give up a little bit of the commute time into Atlanta for living in a great environment. Swanee's town center is amazing and it is very new. So it has all of the modern flair that you would expect to have in a new town center community. They've got an amphitheater, a library, there's green space in this area, shops, restaurants. It's just a fun place to be, and it's where a lot of the community goes to get together and just have their entertainment. One of the other areas to check out is the old town of Swanee. It's got that small historic charm that you would see in these little downtown strips from the 1800s. It's really cute and very charming.
So which suburb caught your eye? If you're thinking about moving to any of these suburbs in the North Atlanta area, feel free to contact us. Our number's on the screen. It's our cell number.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other videos that talk about moving to the North Atlanta suburbs. There's really good information in there, and we will see you next week on our next video.
We'd really love to help you find your next home, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos.